So when you're conducting product research, when you're building offers, and when you're building brands, one of the biggest things that you can do to differentiate yourself from the competition is having a deep understanding of the customer archetype and the customer journey that's ultimately going to potentially purchase your product. The vast majority of Amazon sellers have found success simply by finding products and putting products up on Amazon and doing subtle differentiation. The future of Amazon, and in my view, the successful sellers of Amazon, are those that have a deep understanding of the customer first, and then they find and identify and build products that deliver what those customer archetypes need, want, and desire. And that's what this series of videos is all about. So the key point for this presentation is to understand the process and power of developing a customer archetype. So it's important to remember that Amazon is run by machines and algorithms, but we sell to people. And it's very easy to forget that there's a human being on the other side of the screen making decisions about which product to select, which product to buy, and which offer they ultimately want to take. Amazon is going to mathematically reward and calculate the best products based on data and based on machines, but you don't solve the problem purely by understanding the machines at Amazon. That helps, but how you ultimately win is by understanding the human beings and the person behind the computer that's ultimately purchasing a product. And that's where the magic happens. So when you deeply understand the person you are selling to, everything else is easier. It's easier to get reviews, it's easier to convert the product, it's easier to do pay-per-click, it's easier to win. And there's really two ways to understand a customer archetype. The one that I'm actually a proponent of now after building a brand that I wasn't the customer archetype for, and then building brands either myself and or with people that are the customer that we're ultimately selling to, is that you are the actual archetype. So you're that customer, you're in that situation, you understand their fears, their pleasures, their needs, their wants, where they hang out, what they're looking for, what a valuable offer is, how to differentiate yourself. When you're the customer of a particular brand that you're sculpting, everything else is easier, and that's one way to do it. The second is, if you aren't the customer and you aren't on that journey, is that you have the ability to reverse engineer the archetype. So you know how to study them. You know how to find out where they are. You know how to decode their language. You know how to interview people that are the customer archetype to reveal that information that matters when developing a product. So to deeply understand a customer and really reverse engineer the customer archetype, you either got to be that customer or you've got to be able to reverse engineer it. And when building a customer archetype, there's really four areas. One is goals and values. One is sources of info. One is challenges and pain points. And one is objections and roles. And I've created a template that looks like this that will help you deeply understand your customer and sculpt what your customer archetype is. And it really maps it all out here. In the next video, we're going to break down an actual example of what this looks like in practice. Realize it seems a little bit weird on paper and may seem a little bit weird as you go through it, but I'm telling you, when you come out the other end of this exercise and compile this template for your customer archetype, it is an incredibly powerful tool to identify the right products, to build the right offers, and to build brands that matter, especially on the Amazon platform. The next video, we break this all down.